And the last thing for both passports is I'm gonna turn up the lights. We're gonna make it sexy. We're gonna make it dreamy. I mean, why not save the best for last? Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Ify. I live in Canada. I'm based in the Greater Toronto area. So what I basically do on this channel is just vlog about my lifestyle here in Canada. If this is your first time watching, thank you for stumbling onto this video. If you are a returning subscriber, you deserve a big hug. If you haven't subscribed and you've watched my video before, what are you waiting for? This is the right time to subscribe. Please subscribe. And I just want to say, my last video was about my weekend or my last week in February. And at the end of that video, if you haven't watched it, I did mention that I was on 200 plus subscribers at the time, and I was wishing for 1,000 subscribers before the end of March. At this moment, I'm on 433 subscribers, I believe, which is mind-blowing for me because I'm a new YouTuber. So thank you guys for subscribing. For all of you who have engaged me in the comment section, I really appreciate it. I like chatting with you guys, so don't be shy. Anything you want to say, as long as it's not rude, please comment if you have any questions. I like to read the comments, so I always try my best to respond to all of them. So by the title of this video, you know what I'm about to talk about. I'm talking about the Nigerian passport and the Canadian passport, which I hold. I am originally from Nigeria and I became a naturalized citizen of Canada last year, 2020. So basically, today's video is supposed to be a fun one. I'm going to be talking about the similarities between the Nigerian passport and the Canadian passport, and also the differences. I did a little research. I did some jotting, so I'm gonna read some things that I wrote down already. I already know, I won't say a lot of information, but I do know quite a bit about the features of a Nigerian passport and a Canadian passport, but it was surprising to, find out a few other things. So I'll dive straight into the video. First of all, just so that you can see, this is what the Nigerian passport looks like, and this is what the Canadian passport looks like. So the green one is the Nigerian passport and the dark blue one is the Canadian passport. So yay. First of all, I'm just going to talk about the features that you see once you look at both passports. The Canadian passport is midnight blue. It has gold embossed on the front and there's nothing behind. This is the royal arms of Canada that you can see right in front of here. And the Nigerian passport has the coat of arms on the back of it, and it has ECOWAS, which is the Economic Community of West African States, in front, and there's an emblem in front which shows Africa, the continent. First thing that the Nigerian passport and Canadian passport have in common are that they are both e-passports. So you can see right in front of here that it says passport and it has that square with a dot in the middle, and so does the Nigerian passport. So what essentially it means is that they're both electronic passports and your biometrics have been put into a chip that has been inserted into the passport. I can't feel it, but essentially your biodata such as your name, your date of birth, and your nationality are all encrypted into that chip, and the e-passport essentially just has all of that information. So if you're within 10 I believe centimeters to a reader, it can scan the electronic part of the passport and that information is now available to that reader. So just be mindful of where you are when you're carrying your passport. So the second thing that the Nigerian passport and the Canadian passport have in common is that they both issue 5 years and 10 years passport. So you can have a valid passport that is good for 10 years and you have a passport that is only valid for 5 years, which is great. So for those people who probably want to change their names, you don't have to carry a 10-year passport. If you don't see any reason why any information on your passport is going to change, you're going to have the 10-year passport. I opted for the 10-year passport with my Canadian passport, but for now in Canada, you're only able to carry a 5-year valid passport for the Nigerian passport, which is where I got mine issued. My Canadian passport is valid for 10 years and my Nigerian passport is valid for 5 years. Number 3 is visa requirements. It's funny because I thought that, having a Canadian passport, knowing that you can enter so many countries, Nigeria will be one of the countries that you can enter. Nope, that's not correct. If you have a Canadian passport and you want to enter into Nigeria, you have to have a visa prior to entering the country. And likewise with Nigeria. So if you hold a Nigerian passport and you want to come into Canada, you have to obtain a Canadian visa. So both countries, are still kind of throwing shade. You don't want to come into Nigeria with a Canadian passport without a Nigerian visa. You don't want to come into Canada without a Canadian visa stamped on your Nigerian passport. The fourth thing that the Nigerian passport and the Canadian passport have in common are colors. Yeah, colors, you heard that right. This is blue and this is green. However, Canada also has a green passport. And I did find out that that is the special Canadian passport. From what I researched, which is what I'm going to be reading now, is that the green cover on a Canadian passport is a Canadian special passport for people holding office. Essentially, it means that members of parliament can carry a green Canadian passport. Senators and government employees in a non-diplomatic capacity all carry a green Canadian passport, which is, fun. And number 5 is that also the Nigerian immigration issues blue passports. Yes, you heard that right. The Nigerian immigration issues blue passports to Nigerian ministers, governors, military officials, the central bank governor, or anyone who holds a ranking of the deputy director and above in the Central Bank of Nigeria can hold a blue passport, and also senior government officials. So, what this means is that senior officials in Canada can carry a green Canadian passport and senior officials in Nigeria can carry a blue passport. So those are the 5 similarities between the Nigerian passport and the Canadian passport. There is one extra bonus similarity, which I'm going to touch on the end of this video. So I'd like to know, if you watch this video to the end, comment and let me know what you think the last similarity, which is a bonus one, is between the Nigerian and Canadian passport. So here are some of the differences that the Canadian passport and the Nigerian passport have. The first thing I did was go onto the Henley's Passport Index website. So on the Henley Passport Index website, you are able to compare your passports that you hold, or any passports generally. What I did was to compare my Canadian passport to my Nigerian passport. Essentially, it shows here that in 2021, Canada ranks as the 9th strongest passport in the world because it allows you to go into 183 destinations visa-free. And Nigeria is ranked at 97 because it allows you to go into 46 destinations visa-free. So that's one of the differences that both passports have. So in terms of countries that require visas, currently you require a visa for 43 countries if you own a Canadian passport. And if you own a Nigerian passport, you are required to obtain a visa for 180 countries. You heard that right, 180 countries require you to obtain a visa if you own a Nigerian passport prior to entering that country. The second thing that is different on the Nigerian passport and on the Canadian passport is the number of pages that both passports have. Currently in Canada, the Canadian government issues a passport that has 36 pages, regardless of the validity of the passport. So if it is a 5-year passport or if it is a 10-year passport, you can only carry a passport that has 36 pages. What with Nigeria, you have the option of owning a passport with 32 pages or a passport with 64 pages. So that's the difference, regardless of if it is a 5-year valid passport or if it is a 10-year valid Nigerian passport. And let's get into the cost of each passport. So for a 5-year passport in Nigeria with 32 pages, it will set you back a total of 130 USD, which is US dollars. And for a 64-page 5-year Nigerian passport, it would set you back a total of 150 US dollars. If you want to own a 64-page, 10-year valid Nigerian passport, it would set you back 230 US dollars. With the Canadian passport, it will set you back a total of 120 Canadian dollars for a 5-year valid passport. If you want to own a 10-year valid Canadian passport, it will set you back a total of 160 Canadian dollars. And with the biometrics, so with the Nigerian passport, the biometrics is on the hard cover page of the first page of the passport. The Nigerian passport, like I said, you have it on the first page, which is the hard cover page. And with the Canadian passport, your biometrics is on the second page. So after you open the first page, you don't see anything like the Nigerian passport. You have to flip it to the second page. You have to flip it to the second page to find the biometrics on the Canadian passport. So the Canadian passport requires you to manually sign your passport in order for it to be valid. So if your passport is not signed manually, there is a page on the Canadian passport that allows you to sign it. That is what makes your passport valid. But with the Nigerian passport, when you apply in the passport office, you're allowed to digitally sign your passport with your original signature. So that is then transposed, or that is then put onto your passport. So on your bio page, you can already see your signature, which you don't need to sign again. So it's already valid upon receipt. But with the Canadian passport, it's not completely valid until you sign it manually. The fourth page of the Canadian passport carries information on what to do when a passport is lost or stolen. So the loss or theft of a passport page is the fourth page of the Canadian passport, which requires you to put down your permanent address on your passport. But with the Nigerian passport, you're not required to put any address, and there's no information on the Nigerian passport about what to do when your passport is stolen or lost. So that's another difference. And some other difference that I found is that the Nigerian passport doesn't have any perforation on the hardcover. But with the Canadian passport, there is perforation on the back, which sips in to the front, and you can barely see it on the front. But with the Nigerian passport, yes, there is perforation, but it is your Nigerian passport number that's perforated on all the inside pages. But with the Canadian passport, what is perforated is a different number, which is a number that you find on your bio page, but that number is not your Canadian passport number. That's the number that's perforated on your Canadian passport. That's another difference. Something else that I found that was kind of similar with the Nigerian passport and the Canadian passport is the information that's on each page. Similar but not the same. With the Canadian passport, you have so much information about places in Canada and people in Canada who have been known to effect change. So one of my favorite pages on the Canadian passport, I would say, is page 30 and page 31. So on this page, you can see a man and you can see a woman. And the man on this page is known as Terry Fox. So Terry Fox had cancer, and he's famously known for the Marathon of Hope. What he did, I believe, was to go around Canada trying to raise funds for cancer research. So, you know, what a noble cause. And although he succumbed to the disease, Terry Fox will forever be known as a Canadian hero. So the famous five are 5 activists that were known to petition the Supreme Court to allow women, or to recognize women as qualified persons to run for Senate. So, you know, 2 heroes on the Canadian passport. So it does provide you with a lot of information. The Nigerian passport, each page has pictures of some notable places and notable tribes of Nigeria and their attires. So that's basically all that, you know, the Nigerian passport carries. It doesn't give you any information about what tribe and what clothing. It doesn't give you information on, you know, the places and what they symbolize. And the last thing for both passports is, I'm gonna turn up the lights. We're gonna make it sexy. We're gonna make it dreamy. I mean, why not save the best for last? So the last thing that the Nigerian passport again has in common with the Canadian passport, although similar but not the same, is that they both have hologram pages. So essentially, there's so much hidden information in the Canadian passport. Just by looking at it with your bare eyes, you can't see the difference. But when you put a UV light across the passport, you can see hidden messages, and it's so beautiful. I tried it with my Nigerian passport. I mean, don't hold your breath because you're not going to be wowed, but there's something that's similar. So I'm going to try this with my UV light. I don't have a UV light just sitting in my home, but I have a UV light for my nails, which is what I use when I do my gel nails, because I didn't want to buy a new one on Amazon. So I'm going to try it now so that you guys can see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be turning up the lights to make it sexy and so that you can see the Canadian passport in its full glory. As you can see, the Canadian passport doesn't show you much information while you look at it, but once you have a UV light, you can definitely see how beautiful it looks while it's lit up, and you can see just the beautiful images light up when you shine a UV light across the Canadian passport. And likewise with the Nigerian passport, when you shine the UV light across each page, it shows you the Nigerian coat of arms. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like this video so I know, and share it with your friends or anyone who loves watching videos about passports. If you are not Canadian or Nigerian, please let me know what similarities that you found while watching this video. So if there are any similarities with either the Nigerian passport or the Canadian passport, please comment down below. If there are significant differences, I also like to know what your passport's unique feature is. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already subscribed. And there is a notification bell that you can click if you like seeing my face across your screen. I mean, why not? Why not? Why not? And if you like to watch all things Canadian, especially from an immigrant's point of view, this is the right page. So please do the needful and subscribe to this channel.